Alright guys, welcome back to the Marvel Snap video. They have just revealed the new cards coming, and this season will be the first season we have Snap Pack, so it's kind of weird if you kind of skip towards the end where they actually don't show the Spotlight Caches and other variants. But do you also remember there should be, I think, some Series 4 cards dropping along the season. Whether they do at the start of the season, so in 1 week's time, we're going to get 3 more cards in the Series 4 pack, which I think is what Guest Gaming and the developer Q&A did recently confirmed. I don't think he was 100% sure on it, but I think he just said yes, there are. Or if they don't, then at least at the end of the season, towards the end of the season, to next one, like how we got these new cards, the Series 4 ones, they're going to once again release them at the end of the month, essentially, which I think should be. First one, Helion. He's a Series 4 card. He is, once again, another move card. Crazy. We're getting for like 5 move cards in a week if they do drop this week. He's a 5'8". He's basically just Cloak, but for only you. 5'8", Cloak. Pretty good. Your opponent can't move cards in. It's literally almost the exact same card. I can't lie and say I think Cloak is probably still better, because at least when I play Move, and you're probably going to be using the Move deck a little bit, is sometimes you actually want to play Cloak and like a free cost, Vulture or Dagger, or even, Human Torch. And then, like, the cool thing is, if it's Human Torch or Vulture or Dagger is the last card you played, you can move it in and Ghost Spider out. You can't really do that with, obviously, Helion. However, though, I guess you could just use Helion in like an actual just regular deck, because it's a 5'8". Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about it, I guess, as the card comes out, if it does come out either in a week's time or in a month's time. Next card, crazy card. I can't believe they're doing this one. Not killing move, but it's a crazy tech card. It's definitely going to be more ramped up now, because, like I did say, they just dropped 4 and maybe even soon to be 5 move cards with Helion. But yeah, 2/2, you can move this once ongoing. Enemy cards, so not you. Enemy cards can't be moved here, which is, yeah, crazy. I mean, I can even see myself teching into an actual move deck, just kind of counter the mirror a little bit, or maybe just other stuff that goes on. You want to move things, that could be kind of nice. I do like the character though, she looks sick, so yeah, we might have to give her a go. And yeah, Kid Omega is also one of them. I'm actually looking forward to this one, because activate, destroy the next card you played this turn and gain its power, which is it gain, right? Can it be negative? Maybe bring back the Deadpool and Celine combo a little bit with like a double, a Kid Omega and Deadpool. That could be kind of fun, right? But yeah, I think it could be good. You kill or destroy a Deadpool, activate, by the way, so you can do it on turn 5, and then just instantly add its power towards him. Yeah, it might be kind of good. But yeah, those are the Series 4 cards I think should be dropping. But they didn't reveal in this trailer, so maybe they're not, though. But they will be dropping at some point during the season, though, because they are XMEN cards. Okay, now would be a good time to say, hey guys, if you're enjoying the video, subscribe. We're trying to hit 1K subs. We are very, very close. So if you want to see more content from me, really pushing daily uploads now. So subscribe if you enjoy the content. Let's go towards the first card, being Esme Cuckoo. I said the name right. Also, the artwork this season's sick, bro. I can't lie. Yeah, so she is a 3/4. Hasn't been changed from the leaks that we saw. On reveal, copy a card from your deck into towards your hand. Set its cost to 3/4. It mirrors her, because that's kind of the gimmick a little bit. But obviously, I want to point out, even if you buff up Esme, the card you draw is not going to get buffed up. It's just kind of like some symmetry a little bit, right? Cool animation. But yeah, I mean, you can see it right here, right? They're saying it. Like, it's going to clearly go into like an ongoing deck a little bit, because copying a Gorge, you can see right there. Copying a Man Thing will be decent. But granted, though, remember, you are playing on 3. So if you do copy a 4-cost card, you are technically making it worse, because if you, I mean, I guess if you draw it, it's nice. Like, if you have Galacta in your deck and you draw her, sure, she's been nerfed because she's now a 4/3 rather than a 4/5. However, you wouldn't have been able to play that Galacta, and maybe even like a Wong or a Man Thing if they are in your deck. So that, I think, will affect the rain a little bit. White Tiger and Jubilee, I don't know if you're going to be using those cards, though. Alright, let's talk about the card a little bit. So like I did say, yeah, this is Season Pass card, so if you wanted to buy the Season Pass, it's worth it. Season Passes are always the best value in this game. And remember, I guess, if anything to take out note of is that the last cards have always been changed, whether they've been buffed or nerfed. So this card is a bit of a sting card, then it actually will go out the way to buff it. If they actually really want to give her the Captain card treatment, if they make her a 2-cost to where you then play her on 2, and then you can play that copy card on 3, that might be too broken. I think at that point, it might be almost like a plug and play in most decks, because that would just be insane. But yeah, like I did say, you are setting cost towards 3, so you have to play a 3-cost on turn 4. But I guess if you are drawing like a 5 or 6-cost card, you're not really going to go playing too much. Obviously, ongoing cards are going to benefit the most in this, because most ongoing cards, especially the powerful ones, do have lower power levels and really high cost. But also, a lot of them scale with their powers anyway, so you're going to get a lot of benefit from that. So I think this card is going to go mostly in ongoing ongoing shells. You may find some use outside of it a little bit, but I do not think it's gonna be a plug and play like how we saw Captain America Sam Wilson and of course Iron Patriot. Those are literally just put in towards any decks and generally be fine. So I think for that reason, I'm gonna give her a 3.5 star. Maybe being too harsh on her, maybe you could say a 4-star in like ongoing cards, but I think general use and just where you probably play her. If I'm being honest, I can see myself using her for the weekend when the card comes out, and I'm probably not touching the card again. But that's once again just the way I play games. You know, I want to use, I mean, TFS could be kind of fun. You could do some crazy stuff with it, right? But I'm speaking more general the fact that I am a move player and not really someone that enjoys ongoings too much. And I don't think it's going to fit into a lot of archetypes. So 3.5 star I think is pretty decent though. Okay, Serge is a 2/2, not been changed. On reveal, give the top card of your deck -1 cost and +1 power. After you play it, repeat this ability. I was confused on what this actually meant. Like, would it proc every single turn? But from the wording and the way it looks, it's after you play a card just generally, right? Can you say chain reaction when played? So Dazzler is a 1/3. And after you play Dazzler, the buff card, I think that's how it works, right? The buff card then amps up the next card. So you always have to play the buff card, but you are -1 and have +1 power. And for the looks of it, it doesn't say limit towards like 0 cost or like 1 cost. So you can actually take a 0 cost card below. That is crazy. All right, so yeah, I do think this card is going to be kind of crazy. Kind of going against the opposite of what I said with Esme, where I think this card can fit into a lot of decks. Because, I mean, yeah, drawing a card, it's just a better fast toss, right? It's kind of already buffed up fast toss, where he gives what, either -1 and like, or +2, where this one's doing guarantee, by the way, guarantee -1 and guarantee -2. But obviously, you have to play that card the next turn. I think you could probably still skip a turn and still play the card and get the buff the next turn. But unless you played that Surge buffed up card, then you're not going to be able to activate this card too much, essentially. However, once again, you're drawing cards every single turn anyway. They're going to be cheaper. Unless you're playing like a combo-oriented deck where you have to save a certain card, for example, then even then, you can still probably benefit. Like if I put this onto Torch, Torch is now a 0 cost card, +1. He's now what, a 0/3? I'm loving that already, right? And that's guaranteed because you can keep on playing those cards. So I think in a lot of shells, it's going to work. It's going to be the best thing to do. Then I think over time, maybe not. And I'd say, if anything, remember, there is a fantastic card coming, Mr. Fantastic, in like July. I know it's kind of a long way away and it could get changed. But after every turn, one card in your hand gets +2 or like -1. So, and I think if you have Surge alongside him in the future, like you're going to be going crazy with minus cost and also plus power in your deck. Could be really good too. I mean, Silver Surfer, I think it's going to be insane, this wellness card, because you want to typically play freeze. So you play this on 2, you draw a 3 cost card. It's now a 2 cost card, and it's buffed up. So your Brutes are now better. Your Sebastian Shaw's now better. Just generally speaking, all of your cards going forward, and you'll play this anyway, it's going to be so much better. So I do think this card is going to be a 4-star card. This is my first Tamarind card, so I don't want to be jumping to the gun and just give it like a 5-star. It probably is the best card, I'd say, of the season, at least from just looking at it right now on paper. But maybe 4.5 star also works too. But bro, I think this card's gonna be crazy. All right, Prodigy is going to be a 3/4. Looks like he likes Serge apparently. On reveal, if this is in the back row, copy the text in front of it. So it's kind of like a targeted late play Mystique, right? But you can copy any cards. You can copy Galactus, you can copy Vulture, anything, right? Remember, it does need to be in the back rows, and it has to be the card in front of it, right? I think they do show gameplay. Yeah, it's actually kind of a cool watching ability. It's a 3 cost too, so it does benefit from Moonstone. So you have double Ant-Man. That's kind of crazy. And you can just do double Moonstone. I mean, yeah, once again, the showcasing in ongoings, it's going to be crazy ongoings, right? Especially like Captain Carter, bro. It's like, it's going to be really good. I guess even in like a Silver Surfer deck, it could be really good too. Although I'm not sure what you're going to copy. I guess if you copy a Sebastian Shaw, I guess, then he'll have the Sebastian Shaw ability, and if you then Surfer, it will get buffed up because it's a 3 cost card and then double its power, or not double, but like, you know, add the get bonus points, right? But yeah, I think for him, we're giving him a 3.5 star again. I think maybe in like ongoings, it probably will be like a 4, maybe a 4.5 star. But it's always that clunkiness, and I think a lot of people realize that. Granted, it's a 3 cost, it is a bit better, and it can be in the back row, so you can play it later, right? Where I guess against Captain Carter, you don't have that clunkiness a little bit. But I think these back row cards always have that subtle clunkiness, right? You can obviously play around it, and as we get used to this ability, people get more used to it. But I just feel like there'll be a time where like, okay, I just can't play this card, or if I want to like maximize it, I want to save it for later on. And if you are copying an ongoing card, you can just typically use Mystique. Granted, you're not gonna have the bonus power. It's got to be the same lane, so it might even just be like a win more. Like, you saw that example, they used a Moonstone if you're copying Ant-Man. I think generally, especially with Moonstone, you could have played any other ongoing card there, maybe like a Captain America, and it would have been kind of decent. You probably still would have won it. But I do think the card can be good, though. We're going to have a really, really good plays. Obviously, I'm talking more so about ongoing cards, but I think there's going to be some sneaky plays. Like, I think a lot of people talked about it, especially with Sam Wilson's shield. I think that might be the key towards this card a little bit, because you can move stuff around, you know, get stuff in front of him. I'm kind of thinking of it as like, let's say I just use a Vulture, right? We use a Vulture, move towards the middle. You have Captain America already on board, at least Sam Wilson. Move this shield towards the middle to where it's now the second card. And now Prodigy, you can then copy that Vulture, and you can then move him again. Like, there's... once again, play with him in move decks, and if you can play with move decks, you can probably play him in a lot of other stuff too. But even like discard, just simply like playing a discard early on, like a Blade, and then you play him on 3. Assuming once again you played a 2-cost card in that lane already to then discard again. Like, there's gonna be use for him, which is why I think he's a 3.5 star. Okay, Elixir, we have a 2/3. On reveal, one of your cards destroyed last turn gets revived here. So this, okay, good. The show is Shang-Chi, because, yeah, I think a lot of people were saying, or at least how I thought of that as well. I think before it was activate, I think that would have been way too broken. But I think it's meant to be like a little bit of a Shang-Chi counter, right? However, you have to have, obviously, not priority, and you have to predict they're going to do it. I doubt, it does say last turn. So wait, how's the gameplay look here? Yeah, so you can't even play it on the turn where they Shang-Chi you. And people typically play Shang-Chi anyway on turn 6 to snipe one a little bit. I will say, at least for me in move decks, and maybe even if you're playing some big cost cards too, people do sometimes tend to try and get the big problem out early. Like, if I got a really big Vulture or obviously Human Torch, because you can move it about, you don't know where it's going to go, so they might try and snipe it. So Elixir could be like a good fallback card a little bit towards that case. They're not showing it in Destroy decks. Destroy decks would be kind of confusing a little bit, because most Destroy cards typically regenerate somehow. Like, you know, if you're destroying a card, it's because you either want to destroy it, or, you know, the Deadpool goes back to your hand. Wolverine jumps around the board. It's a 2/3. You can play towards the end a little bit. I mean, maybe if you have Serge, you made him a 1-cost card, that could be pretty decent as well. So I think for me, I'm going to give him a 3-star, just because I think generally most... I mean, look, it could work a Misery or like Firehair a little bit to resurrect the card again and then do stuff other with it. But like we saw, at least with Firehair, Misery stuff right now, it's not the best thing you're doing. You're not going to probably use an Destroy card deck, because... maybe if you destroy a Nimrod, would that count as you resurrect a Nimrod? Like, I think there are some cool interactions you can probably do, but I don't think it's going to make... I guess, you know what, it's meant to work with Kid Omega, so I think maybe Kid Omega is dropping. Like I said earlier, he's an activate, right? Destroy the next card you play and add it towards his power. So if you want to just play a big cost card, activate the on reveal, maybe it's got like on reveal, maybe it's like a Gwenpool, for example, right? Just something simple as a Gwenpool. You activate, destroy the Gwenpool. Kid Omega now gets his power. He's now a 2/8, for example. Gwenpool's ability has gone off. Since it destroyed it, the Firehair ability kind of went off a little bit, and then you resurrect it with the actual Elixir. Once again, activate not on reveal, and then maybe even destroying a card again, like a Misery, to then resurrect something again, and then repeating it, and a Misery. Like, there's stuff to do with this card, but I don't think it's gonna be like the best thing to be doing, but probably a really fun one. So yeah, I'm gonna do a 3-star. I mean, they do show in the starter deck, right? Because maybe you're playing 4-cost cards out early and then destroy a card. Since it is the last turn, like I did say, it's gonna be a bit tricky, because you can't like preemptively snipe a Shang-Chi. All right, guys, say it with me. Another move card, Zorn. After any 3 or 4-cost card is played here, move it towards another location. It is universal towards both players. Actually, I'm pretty sure they're going to show here. They are showing it in Scream though, but in marvelsnap, he repels away 3. Oh, okay, I'm hiding actually. Hang on, my bad. But you can see it. So anyone that plays a 3 or 4-cost card here, it's kind of a cool little snipe tool, because you can probably snipe and win at the end. Like, if they think they're going to play like a 3 or 4-cost and you just move it out. It is random though. It's like they're showing that like move thing, which looks kind of cool. But I think the thing with Zorn, right, is at least one, if you're using it in move deck, you'd rather use Topaz, right? Because you're guaranteed 1 to move it towards a middle location. I think in a move deck where I thought this card might have been used a little bit, the randomness is a little bit jarring, I can't lie, because very much like Hercules, if you move in towards a Hercules lane and it moves it towards the far right, and you want to go spider it on the same turn to kind of move stuff around, it could be a little bit annoying to play around with. And I think right now with Topaz, you'd probably rather use her, who's obviously a little more expensive, but you should have that guaranteed movement. You know it's going to move towards the middle. Playing Zorn on 2 right after Scream is, I think, terrible, right? Because one, you got a priority, and if anything, they're more likely going to be sniping your actual Scream in itself, so you probably just lost your Scream if they use like a Red Guardian, for example. But you also have to play a 3 or 4 cost card here, so you got to try and sniper on turn 3 to get value, and at that point, just use Polaris, right? It's a 3/5, and you get the guaranteed move, where you can guarantee clog up a lane. So I think for me, I mean, I'm moving it closer, move it down towards 2-star. I think there will be uses for it, but at least in move decks for yourself, you probably definitely rather use Topaz, because then you can activate a Dagger, you can activate a Human Torch, you can activate Spider-Man 2029. Topaz could be a little bit annoying because you can't literally any card played there, so you have to put them in the location. But even still, at least you have that guarantee. You know it's going to move towards the middle, where Zorn could be a bit RNG, could be a bit random, could embrace the chaosness a little bit. But we saw with obviously Hercules, the randomness is just a little bit annoying. And Scream decks, even though they showcased it in Scream, you're probably not going to use. Just go use Polaris. But yeah, that is it for the cards. There are some other stuff here, like the new locations. After turn 5, all but your highest cost card here is destroyed. Sure. Cards with 10 or more power Cards with 10 or more power can't be played here. These variants are crazy. I'm not gonna lie. The Battle Pass cards, at least or Season Pass cards, the variants a little bit. Sometimes they don't do it for me. These though, they're doing it for me. I'm not gonna lie. Esme Cuckoo looks like Alpha from Emerson Shadow. I don't know if how many of you actually watched that one. Even Wolfsbane looks sick as well. I think it's probably my best variant. Okay, so it's cool you just do it like a should you buy, essentially. Esme you should buy is the Battle Pass card, so it's kind of a no-brainer. You're doing it anyway. Surge, honestly, I'd say buy, especially with stuff coming in the future, fantastic stuff, and just the future of the game. I think this one would be worth opening if you can get it or buy her. Obviously, let's see what she does and how she plays out and what decks she does go into before you buy her, but I do think, if anything, this would be the one card you probably want to buy this season. Prodigy, I think, will be a buy for some people, not everyone though. Like to say, if you're someone who likes ongoing stuff, and you know, once we figure out his home and where he can be played a little bit, then people will be tending to go towards him. But I think even now, there's just a lot of ongoings, bro. I think you could probably do without him, right? And even then, you could probably still do with him. So I think from some people, it'll be a buy, but I think for most people, probably going to skip this one. Elixir, I mean, look, for the memes, I want to buy him, but I think for most people, you're just not going to use this card. And then the final one, Zorn, I'm going to go out and say, no, probably don't. Like, you're not going to use him in Scream decks. You're probably not going to use him in move decks, especially right now with Topaz. You're actually better off buying Topaz, who's cheaper, guarantee, probably better as well, because it can move more than just 3 or 4. It can move Vulture, it can move Dagger, it can move Human Torch. You get more benefits from that. The randomness is slightly annoying, so I'm not a big fan of it, even someone who likes move, but maybe I am wrong. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching the video. Let me know which cards you lot are planning to buy, and well, what card you're looking forward to the most. For me, it's Serge. Serge looks sick, I'm not gonna lie. So guys, thank you for watching, and yeah.